have his hand raised right
Recording
away.
in
Rich
progress.
Garcella, go ahead.
Hey, Nick, how are you? I'm good. Nick, what do you recall the most about your recruitment by Notre Dame, and how? What was the tipping point? What was the deciding factor that you chose Penn State over Notre Dame?
First, Notre Dame was obviously a good visit when I was a senior. As my official visit, it was a good visit. Coaches were nice and all, the team was all nice. What it came down to really was just the atmosphere. Penn State treated me like just family ever since I went up for a recruit. They treated my family like family. It was an easy choice too. Just a tradition how the running backs have been produced here. It's close to home, and just being from PA, like there's no other place to be. So that really came down to that.
All right, raise your hand in the room if you have a question. We'll go to another Zoom one, Seth Engel, and then we'll go to Bob.
Hey, Nick. When we talked to Coach Franklin, he said that you're trying to decide what you're going to do in terms of going to the NFL or returning for another year. Have you kind of made a decision, or at least a timeline on that? And what has that process been like while preparing for football games?
Yeah, I haven't made no decision yet. I'm still worried about finish this season off the right way. We got a chance to do something that we haven't done in a while. Is compete for a national championship. So right now I'm just focused on that, and at the end of the season I'll make a decision.
Hey, Nick, how are you?
I'm good. How you doing?
I'm good. So your touchdown run, the long run against Boise State, what was that play called? Could you tell the way it was blocked that you had a chance to score? And then also, what is your favorite running play to run? Like when it's called in the huddle, your eyes light up because maybe that's the one that you're the best at.
Yeah, that run, it was just a gap scheme run. Shout out to the O-line. They did a heck of a job blocking, and it was just making a cut and making the one-man miss we always talk about. So shout out to them. It was a great run, and probably my favorite run. I love really any run for real. Like I run inside zone, mid zone, gap scheme, outside zone. It doesn't really matter, man. So.
Nick, what are your early impressions on Notre Dame's defense, and what have you learned about them from either watching the Sugar Bowl or just the tape you've seen so far?
Yeah, Notre Dame is really good defense. Really good team, really fast defense. They're physical. They're all gonna rally to the ball. I feel like just they play as a team. Once you play as a team, it makes the defense really scary. So they're a really good team, and I feel like we're gonna have a plan for them. So we'll be good.
Hey, Nick.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good.
This is a two-part question about Drew. It can be the same answer. What does he do best, and what area has he improved the most this past season that can be on or off the field?
Yeah, I'll just say, Drew's a really good quarterback. He's a dual threat quarterback. He can throw the ball, he can break the pocket, he can run it, get the first downs, even just make long runs too to extend plays. So he's really good, and he's just being a leader off the field too. Talking more in the meetings. Bringing the young guys with him, teaching them the ways. So Drew's been phenomenal.
Hey, Nick, how are you?
I'm good. How you doing?
Can you remind me, do you live with Katron?
Yeah.
Okay. Have you picked up anything different about him in the month of December? Because we've noticed a little bit different in his game. I mean, has there been, I don't want to say a flicking the switch, but is there anything you've noticed about him, his demeanor, his performance on the field that you can kind of share with us versus it just being, he went from kind of not being all that efficient to being 8 yards per carry?
Yeah, Katron's been good. Get to a point this season, he's been taking care of his body, being in the treatment room every day, He's being that guy. He's a team player, everybody loves him to death. He's trying to make everybody better, man. So, he's a really good player, Just doing the little stuff, man. So, he's been really good.
And smiling more around the house, though?
Definitely a smile, yeah.
Let's go in the back to Bruce and then John.
Hey, Nick, how you doing, my man?
Good. How you doing?
Good, good. Hey, listen, you're in the middle of, pressure-packed, now 16-game season. What are you finding on a week-to-week basis is more challenging, the mental aspect of going into a big game or the physical aspect of getting your body ready to play?
Yeah, I feel like it's kind of both. Physically, you're saying, you're playing 16 games, everybody's banged up, everybody's sore and all that, but it comes to that, being in that treatment room all the time, just holding yourself to accountable, trying to take care of your body so you be ready for game day. And just mentally, like I said, it's draining. It's a long season, so just trying to keep your mind locked in. Trying to do more film, just trying to get better every day.
Go to John and then Mark.
Hey, Nick, what was your reaction on Katron's long run that got called back, and how did you react when you saw that it got called back?
Yeah, it was a great run. He'll tell you first, the O-line did a heck of a job blocking. Obviously got called back. But, once he lowered his shoulder down, I already knew someone would go down. I'm surprised the defender didn't go down. But he still kept going. He's a physical runner, man. Really angry runner. He's just really good. And when I got called back, I was mad. I saw he was mad too. But at the same time, that brings, the whole team up. That brings the energy to the offense. Ever since then, we started rolling.
Over here, Mark.
Nick, at what point did you realize that the benefits of not necessarily being a 30 carry a game back, the benefits of being able to split carries with somebody else? Because it would seem to me, as in high school, I would imagine you carried a lot, and to come here and then split it, how did that kind of sink in with you?
Yeah, I felt good with it. Like you said, trying not getting the whole beating up. Taking the reps off each other. Me and K-Sean were really good with each other. You just feel good. Just not getting that beating. Staying healthy with this long season now. So it's been really good.
Hey, Nick, over here. Is there like a positive feedback loop between you and Katron for being each other's lead blocker? Because I imagine if you don't throw a good block, do you wonder if you're going to get one on the next time where you're the runner on the next play?
No, there's no really like that. We always gonna make mistakes. That, but just me and him, we're a good relationship. That's my boy. Stuff's gonna happen, but at the same time, we're gonna do what it takes. To make each other really good. He's gonna block for me. I'm gonna block for him. Just being that complimentary teammate.
We got some Zoom questions. Let's go to Wogie.
Hey, Nick. Coach Franklin said a bit earlier just about your decision process, decision-making process. If he decides to come out, we'll fight like hell to get him back. How is he doing that?
What you mean, like?
That his quote was, "If he decides to come out, which means if you decide to leave, we'll fight like hell to get him back to come back next year." How is he doing that with you? How is he fighting like hell to make you want to stay?
No, yeah. He just tells, the pros and cons and all that. Just if you're leaving, the pros and the cons if you just stay and stuff like that. So he's been really good. He's not really focused on that because, we still got 2 more games left. We want to try and win a national championship. But there's obviously been background, conversations and all that. So, he's been really good. Either way, he's always going to have my support. So Coach Franklin's amazing.
Let's go to Max Ralph.
Hi, Nick. I know you guys emphasize ball security every day, have been forever, but Notre Dame's number 2 in turnover margin this year. You guys have already felt the effects of winning the turnover battle in your first 2 CFP games. Is it possible to emphasize it more going into this game than you already have?
Yeah, I feel like, every week we stress it. It don't matter who we play, no matter who the opponent is, we always talk about ball security. That's the most important thing we do, especially during practice too. He always emphasizes that. So, obviously Notre Dame, they're really good defense. They obviously really good defense for a reason. So, he's got obviously have a great week of prep. Ball security, obviously the most important thing on the field. So we'll be ready.
Let's go to Joe Smeltzer and then Tyler.
Hey, Nick, appreciate the time. So we were just talking with Amari, and I'm paraphrasing here, but he feels that opposing defenses now respect the receivers enough to where defenses can't just stack the box and dare the passing game to make plays. What improvements have you seen the receivers make from last season, and how has their progress helped you guys in the run game?
Yeah, the receiver's been amazing. Like, all the data they've been talking about through the offseason, that kind of motivated them. So, every week during the offseason, they're outside, working on routes, catching footballs, meeting with the quarterbacks and all that, just working hard. And obviously helps us a lot, too. They're not stacking the box up. Safety's not down, They obviously got to respect the pass because, we got great receivers that can go down the field and catch the ball. So it's been really good, and we just got to keep it going.
Nick, we've talked a lot about the sharing the workload with with Katron over the last few years. I don't know if it's ever come up about, during your recruitment process, was it important to you to find a place where you could be a bell cow? Is this kind of a conversation that won you over since you've gotten to campus? Like, were you a guy who, when you pictured yourself as a college freshman, a college sophomore, you thought 25, 30 touches a game, focal point of an offense? And if that was the case, how did you kind of have to adapt and kind of evolve your expectations of what running back was going to look like for you in college?
Yeah, when I first got to college, I didn't know how many carries I'd get because, I was a freshman. I had to work up to that. Then, obviously, the first game of the year, my freshman year, I didn't get as much carries, but at the same time, I came out that game healthy, knowing, the Big Ten, it's a physical league, you're going to be banged up. So, having that load off each other, is obviously good, especially during a long season. So, it's been really good.
Any more questions for Nick? Great. Thanks, Nick.
Appreciate it.
Recording stopped.